As Delhi is engulfed in a thick smog of smoke because of the ever so high AQI, there are critical questions that have come to the fore. A World Cup match is scheduled in the national capital on the 6th of November, for which the teams have refused to attend the training session because of the high pollution outside. As India makes its bid to host the Olympics, are we looking at a global embarrassment? If the same pollution is to continue as it is going on right now, what is the possible impact that we may see on sports as well in India and particularly in Delhi? Tasmin Granger, Zimbabwe's national player and coach, is joining us live. David Brooks, a former Channel 4 director, London, is live with us. We also have Rajan Manchanda, DDCA Joint Secretary, joining us live. Mandeep Kaur, women cricketer, is also live with us on the broadcast. Let me begin with you first, Rajan Manchanda. This is highly embarrassing. There is a Cricket World Cup happening in India, and we are seeing that ahead of the match scheduled in Delhi on the 6th of November, the teams do not want to train because it's so polluted outside.
This is unfortunate. In that case, we are helpless due to the weather condition. We are trying our level best to control the pollution level in our stadium. And we are just installed coolers and mist coolers to control the mist. And we are giving the water supply to each and every tree right now, trying to control the pollution, but outside we are totally helpless. Unfortunately, it is in Delhi.
But Rajan Manchanda, have you spoken with the authorities in Delhi, the government, and other officials to tell them that they need to take steps to improve AQI, because it is affecting now sports and it's affecting our image abroad?
They are taking a measure to control the pollution, and as per our concern, government are doing at their level best. But due to the weather condition, suddenly everything is changed in the weather. So DDCA is totally helpless. Even then, we are trying to give them a good level in the stadium, inside the stadium, and hopefully we are going to able to achieve our goal in stadium only.
Are you expecting the match to happen as scheduled, or do you believe that there could be an impact of the match as well if the air is not conducive for play to happen and visibility also is affected?
Right now I'm in a stadium only, and as far as visibility concerned, visibility is okay, and it's all dependent on the ICC and the BCCI. They are going to take a call for the match.
Okay, they are going to take a call. Perhaps we'll know tomorrow, sir?
Maybe late tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay, late tonight or tomorrow morning. Also, the viewers, the spectators, there could be a dip in footfall as well, because people will not want to sit outside for such prolonged conditions. So possible.
No, it's even the non-India match, we already sold out roughly 12,000 tickets.
But many people may not show up, Rajan Manchanda, if the air quality remains like this.
Yeah, maybe less than 15 to 20% less people for the previous matches. Tomorrow matches we are expecting roughly 24,000. But now, as far as weather condition concerned, it's a 20,000 crowd, less about 15%.
Obviously, this affects the health, the fitness of sportsmen as well. The cricketers.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. 100% you're right.
There are many questions now on this impact globally. On one hand, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is saying that we need to make a pitch to bid for the Olympics, to have the Olympics in India, and we're ready for it. But then we see what's happening in Delhi, and analysts wonder, is India ready? Is Delhi ready?
I'm not going to comment on that. But as far as global warming is concerned, it's a people call. They have to control the system, and they are cutting the trees. That's why we are facing this problem. This is a 50-old-year story, started to cut the trees and spoil the environment. Now we are facing the result.
Will DDCA or ICC write a letter to the Delhi government, apprise them of what is happening because of their inability to act?
As far as the ICC concerned, I'm not aware for any letter or not. As far as DDCA concerned, we are taking necessary measures.
Okay. Let me also quickly bring in Tasmeen Granger at this point. Tasmeen, you are also an international player from Zimbabwe who is in Delhi right now. What do you make of the air quality right now?
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show, first of all, this evening. It's different for me. It's probably just a first-time experience. I was in Chennai about a month ago, and it was completely different from this. Yes, maybe a bit hot and a bit humid, but I'm struggling, to be honest with you. Personally, I am an asthmatic person as well. And in the past few days or so, I had a cold, but now the cold part of it is done, but I have a lingering cough, and the cough just doesn't seem to be going away. You can't exactly take a full breath of air as well when you're standing outside or somewhere where it's probably not air conditioned.
Have you stopped going out? Have you made changes to your daily routine because of the air quality?
Yeah, definitely. I try my best just to be in the apartment, and if I'm not in the apartment, then I'm in the studio. I don't spend much time walking around. I haven't actually, it's actually stopped the interest to want to move around and see more of the city that I did start with initially.
What about, outside runs, outside walks? Have those also come to a stop because of this?
Yeah, definitely. So across the road from my apartment is actually a park, because I stay in one of those gated communities. So there's actually a park, and all along I've been getting up in the morning at about 6:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to have a run. But in the past 2 or 3 days, it's not something that's entirely possible. I rather opt to go to the gym and run on a treadmill.
Yes. What do you make of the fact that the Sri Lankan and Afghanistan teams have decided to call off training? Do you blame them?
No, not at all, to be honest with you, because one thing you must understand, cricket, yes, may not be the most strenuous game, running 90 minutes solid on the trot, but the fact that you need to make quick sprints up and down, that's when you take in the max VO2 levels in your body. That's the highest capacity use of your oxygen, the most point in time when your lungs are actually working. And sprinting is a lot harder than running a constant circuit around. You need to be able to take in a full breath and take it back in again to slow down and get your blood temperature and everything else back down, and it's not entirely possible with what's going on outside.
Would you urge the Delhi government to act, the authorities to act?
Yeah, definitely. I hear you guys keep mentioning the fact that you were looking to host the Olympics, and that's a big deal. I'd like to know how you're going to have steeple runners running 5,000 meters in this sort of weather that's going on right now with the cloud of foam over them as well. It won't help. It won't be much easier for marathon runners. It's not going to be any easier for even sprinters at this stage.
Rajan Manchanda, is it true that the Sri Lankan and Afghanistan teams did not show up for training? They cancelled their training session. Is that correct, Rajanji? Rajan Manchanda, can you hear me?
Yeah, they cancelled the practice session.
Okay.
Even yesterday they cancelled the practice session.
They cancelled, and what reason did they give for this?
The same reason, due to pollution.
Yes, that's quite embarrassing. That's quite embarrassing that this has to happen during a cricket World Cup. Mandeep Kaur, let me bring you in here, woman cricketer who's also with us. So Mandeep Kaur, what do you make of the situation in Delhi right now?
As we know that in Delhi air pollution is a lot, situation is not good. So, but we can take some preventions on that. If you're going out, you're playing, you can use a mask, or you can hydrate yourself before match, during match and after match.
Reportedly, the players have cancelled their training ahead of the next World Cup match. Do you blame them? Is this pretty sad that this has had to happen?
Yeah.
No. We can't blame them, because due to air pollution, the health is.
We are having technical trouble. It seems, with Mandeep Kaur's connection. Let me bring in David Brooks at this point. David Brooks, what do you make of this situation that Delhi finds itself in with the hazardous air quality?
It's not something that's been a surprise. This is something that would have been no surprise to the cricket authorities, and it's a bit much, really expecting the cricket authorities to salvage a situation which is clearly of wider health risks and implications. But it's disappointing to hear that. And I guess it should be possible with so many cricketing centres now in India. It should be possible to reorganise any game.
It's pretty sad that this has had to happen, during a Cricket World Cup as well, during such a high-profile World Cup, isn't it, David? The fact that, there is a question mark over the match happening or not. There is a training session. You know how important training sessions are ahead of big World Cup games. It's had to be called off.
Yes, that puts teams who are there at a disadvantage. But with so many cricketing centres in India, surely it should be possible for the authorities, the cricket authorities and the organising committee to reallocate those remaining fixtures.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
I just got a message from a stadium. Bangladesh team is right now in DDCA.
Okay, so the Bangladesh team has shown up
Alright.
for training after all today. After skipping their training yesterday, they've shown up today for their training. Okay, so that is obviously something interesting that has taken place. That the Bangladesh team has actually decided, obviously, to train despite the pollution levels in Delhi. But David Brooks, do you believe that this is something that must improve if India is looking to host big world-class sporting events in the future?
Well, it's certainly an issue for Delhi. I mean, as far as I can see, it's not an issue in other centres. I mean, some of the other cricketing centres are not going to be impacted by this. So yes, it's a long-term consideration for everyone in Delhi, but there are and it's concerning to hear this, but it should be possible if it really gets that bad to reschedule those matches. You have so many cricketing centres now. I mean, there's 15 or 16.
It's not about rescheduling matches, David. The very fact that it can't happen in the originally stipulated venue is a shame in itself. It's not about rescheduling it. We have enough cities to reschedule matches, of course, but the very fact that why is it having to be rescheduled? Why couldn't the authorities take the steps on time? That is the big question. Let's not make excuses.
Well, no, I'm certainly not making excuses for Delhi or for BCCI, but given the circumstances, which are really unfortunate, rescheduling to one of the other centres would seem the best option in the short term. But clearly, in the long term, there's some big issues for the city of Delhi to grasp, with implications not just for cricket, but as Tasnim was saying, for day-to-day healthy living. That's sad to hear that Tasnim, as a professional cricketer, is unable to exercise outside. That's terrible.
Absolutely. Let me also quickly rope back in Mandeep into the conversation as well. Mandeep Kaur, as an athlete, as a player, how bad is this air for your fitness and for other athletes' fitness?
As we can face some respiratory issues, we can shortness of breath हमें हो सकता है, chest congestion हमें हो सकता है, or as we can't have proper oxygen level, getting proper oxygen, so it's not good for our lungs also. So outdoor activities are not good in this time. Risk of infection it increases as it weakens our immune system. So this is not right time to go out and to have some outdoor activities.
Yes, and the fact that the Bangladesh players are now being forced to go and train at the stadium in this weather, it's pretty sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty sad. You can't go out because your health is important in the match.
Absolutely. What is your appeal, Mandeep Kaur, to the authorities?
I would like to mention that they should take some serious steps on this issue of air pollution, because every time we are facing this situation in Delhi, so I would like to request them to take some serious steps on this. It's not good for the players.
Yes. Also, the fact is that Tasmin, we are seeing clearly how this does have long-term effect. Athletes, of course, but on on citizens of the national capital, isn't it, the pollution?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's nothing great to constantly be breathing in, I'm sure, like high outputs of carbon monoxide right now. Definitely in and out of your lungs constantly. You find a lot more people getting more lung problems, be it emphysema, people that have never smoked a cigarette probably in their lives, or small little respiratory issues that can arise. You know, I think it definitely will have a long-term effect on you if it's something you're constantly breathing. I've never been in the situation personally before, but from my understanding, here in Delhi, it lasts a bit longer, especially with upcoming festivities as well. It's expected to actually get a lot worse. So it's not something that's constantly like just starting to happen now, but from my understanding, it's something that's been going on maybe for about the past year or two, and it's just getting worse.
Yes, absolutely. Let me, quickly go back to Rajan Manchanda at this point. Rajan Manchanda, this has happened before, hasn't it? It's not the first time that there have been question marks over a match in Delhi because of pollution. It's happened before, isn't it? Rajan? Okay, we've lost Rajan, unfortunately, there. Mandeep, it's happened before, isn't it? Which is the sad part, that we have not learnt our lessons. Mandeep?
Okay, yes. You're right.
Mandeep as well.
You're right.
Unfortunately, David Brooks is there with us, though. David Brooks, these are lessons to be learnt if we want to be hosts of big sporting events like the Cricket World Cup, like the Olympics in the future. Delhi will have to pull up its socks, isn't it?
Huge implications for Delhi, and presumably this is a ticking time bomb under other urban centres in India as well. Whether it's the volume of traffic, it needs to be some sort of congestion charge introduced to reduce the volume of traffic. Something along those lines must happen, because something along these lines must happen, because it's not just cricket that is impacted, but daily life. And whether it's introducing a congestion charge or a low emissions zone, two policies that have been introduced in London in the last 10 years, and other urban cities have had to follow suit to reduce the amount of traffic on the streets. Surely that's one of the big issues for everyone in Delhi.
It certainly is. And let me also, in fact, quickly rope in here Mandeep Kaur once again. Mandeep, because the fact is that this has happened before and we have not learnt our lessons. That is the sad aspect.
Yes, you're right. It happens every year in Delhi. Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Mandeep. Please go ahead.
I'm audible. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're saying this. This is right. Every year, these situations come to Delhi, but we haven't taken any solution for it. Every citizen is suffering from this air pollution, especially in Delhi. We are facing a lot.
Absolutely. Also the fact is that we are seeing, David, that many people in Delhi are having to face health problems as well. Obviously, pollution causes, David, a lot of health problems, and particularly fitness. Levels dip because of it, and those need to be very high for athletes competing in such big sporting tournaments, isn't it?
Absolutely, huge implications here for India's qualification for hosting future tournaments, because if they're not able to guarantee conditions for athletes, as Tasnim is saying, modern day cricket it depends on peak levels of fitness. And if those conditions cannot be provided for cricketing athletes, then India will have no chance of hosting future tournaments. There will be a big backlash about this. It's clearly unacceptable to host a tournament when you're not providing the conditions for players to do their best and work at their best.
Yes, absolutely. And, it will be a globally embarrassing, won't it, Mandeep, if this match is called off. There is still question mark over it. Perhaps tonight or tomorrow, Rajan Manchanda told us earlier that a decision will be taken on it by the ICC.
Yeah, but I think day after tomorrow, I think the air pollution level will definitely go down. So let's see.
Well, you
Wait
never
for the
know.
tomorrow's.
You never know. You never know right now. Yeah.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.